Climate change is an issue that affects all living organisms on this planet. So I did a lot of research and I want to give you 10 simple things anybody can do to help fight climate change. Hola, I'm Sylvia Salazar from Tono, Latino. Climate change is an issue that affects all of us on this planet, but sometimes we feel like a tiny little ant going up Mount Everest and don't know exactly what we can do specifically to fight it. So I did some research and found 10 things that anybody from little kids to grandmas and grandpas can do from zero money to a lot of money to help fight climate change. Join existing groups or organizations that are helping fight climate change. That way you can pressure governments and legislators and tell them that this is an important issue that you care about. The more people join, the more pressure you can put on them. And it doesn't matter if you're young, old, Democrat, Republican, citizen, or not citizen. If you're a citizen, you can vote for candidates who not only care about climate change, but who have specific proposals and policies to help fight climate change and address all the impacts that come from it. If you can't vote at the polls, you can still vote with your money. Did you know that the top 4 banks that invest in fossil fuels are in the US? JP Morgan Chase, Wells Fargo, Citibank, and Bank of America. So you could close your bank accounts in any of these establishments and move them to other institutions like credit unions. And if you invest in the stock market, you can divest your funds from companies that invest in fossil fuels and move them to those that invest in renewable energy. Reduce, reuse, recycle. Sometimes we forget how simple it can be to implement. Instead of buying 24-pack of disposable water bottles, we just need to carry around one that we can reuse and refill over and over. I don't want to turn you all into vegans or vegetarians, but by reducing our meat and our dairy consumption, we can have a huge impact. If you really want to go hard on this one, by reducing your meat consumption by half, you can reduce your carbon footprint by 40%. But other ways you can have good impacts on this is by eating more local and seasonal foods. If all the cattle in the world were their own country, they'd be the third after the US and China that emits the most greenhouse effect gases. Don't dry your clothes in the dryer. Let them air dry instead, and they're gonna last you longer anyway. This one is super easy. Change your light bulbs. Energy efficient light bulbs use a fraction of what regular light bulbs use, and you're not only saving money in your electric bills, you're helping save the planet. Lead by example. Social scientists have found that when one person makes a sustainability-oriented decision, other people follow suit. It could be as simple as carrying your water bottle around, or a little bit more expensive, installing solar panels in your house. Think about transportation alternatives. If you can walk, if you can bike, if you can use public transit, you can help save the planet. Maybe those are not options, but what about carpooling? And if you have a lot of money and you're in the market for a new car, look at all the different options for electric vehicles or hybrid vehicles. Lastly, this is not a cheap solution, but you can install solar panels in your house. However, this totally makes sense if you live in a place like Florida or Arizona. If you're in Seattle, you could perhaps want to explore some alternatives to installing the solar panels in your house and perhaps talk to your utility provider and find out if there are programs that you can help finance that support renewable energy instead of installing solar panels in your house when the sun doesn't really come out that much. Subscribe to my channel and turn on the little bell so you can get a notification every time I upload a new video.